My name is Peter Shawcross. I've lived in Newton Willers all my life. I was born in Liverpool Maternity Hospital in 3rd of April 1949. And my mum, who had been very ill all her life, was actually warned not to have any more children after my sister was born. But she got pregnant again, and I turned up on the 3rd of April. Through her life, she was always a very ill lady, and I then started school at St Mary's St John's in 1954 in the old water school entrance there. I had many happy years there. I used to also, with living at 196 Crow Lane East, I used to be able to walk home at lunchtime and get me dinner. My mum used to be able to just about manage to cook my dinner, and then I used to walk back. And I'll always remember the day when I don't think I'd only been there, in fact it might even been the first day, when I decided I wanted to go to the toilet. So I asked the teacher, could I leave the class? And of course in those days you had to go out into the yard and then into the little brick surround. Got in there, took my pants down, and then realised that I'd never actually got to a stage where I'd ever pulled them up and fastened them. So I ended up walking into the classroom, my pants around my ankles, the teacher having to take me home. I think it was more just down to sheer embarrassment more than anything else. But it's just something that's always stuck in my mind. And then later on, when I was round about the age of 10 and a half, 11, my sister unfortunately contracted cancer, and she died. And in the same 12 months, with my mum being so ill, she died as well. So I lost my mum and my sister in that same 12-month period. In about 2 years after that, something like that, my dad started courting again and remarried. There was problems in the family because they thought that with my dad only not seen long since lost my mum, it shouldn't have happened. But the thing is, he'd spent his life nursing her, and as far as I was concerned, he deserved some happiness in his life. And from that then, from the house in 196 Crow Lane East, we then moved into 56 Victoria Road, which I spent the rest of my life, up to my life then, up to me getting married. Once I got down to Victoria Road, I then started to make friends, and next door but 4 was the Hoyenville family, and Nick was at school with me, so I started knocking about with Nick. And of course there was fields at the back which belonged to Berman's farm, and which we always used to wander around in the trees and what have you down there. I always remember the time when there was a ditch there, and we dug a hole into the side of this ditch, which was big enough, believe it or not, for 2 of us to fit in. And we used to pinch turnips out of the field, and we sat in this hole eating them, much to the dismay of my parents when we explained exactly what had happened. And they were so, theoretically, it could have all caved in on us, and they'd have not known where the hell we were. And when I think about it now, how stupid it was, but kids do these sort of things, don't they? So with that, as I say, then Nick Hoyen was friendly with a lad called Paul Nolan, who lived on 128 Wargrave Road. We then started to knock about obviously around the Wargrave area. And then, as I say, I would say we're probably around the age of maybe 12, 13, 14. They started a youth club up at Wargrave School, of which it was on a Friday night, so Friday nights was down there. Through the rest of the week, before the Friday nights, there was also a bus shelter which was immediately across the road from Wargrave School, and it was a large one. People who lived in Newton all their life would probably remember it. And there was ladies and gents toilets to either side, and a massive, great big long bench in the middle. And of course, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and even at weekends, we used to spend just hours and hours in this bus shelter. One other thing that always comes to mind was we were in the bus shelter one night, and the chap was smoking his head off, which was driving us mad because none of us smoked, even though a lot of people did at that time. And I was so incensed at this bloke puffing smoke everywhere. I started not talking to him, talking to my mates, but with reference to the fact that I'd just lost my sister to cancer and one thing and another. And eventually he threw the cigarette down on the floor and said, "All right, you've won." He said, "Now you put me off him now." So whether he ever went back to cigarettes after that, I have no idea. But it's just something else that's always stuck in my mind. The girls, obviously, that we used to meet in there, they were a good bunch of girls. For the life of me, I've tried to think of some of their names. I think there was one called Christine Faulkner, I think. But a lot of the others, we all had basically nicknames for each other. From there also, some nights we used to wander down Bradley Road past the hospital, and there was quite a steep embankment on the right hand side as you went down to the path to the canal, and we used to sit up there more or less in all weathers, but not when it was throwing it down with rain. But one of the strange things that phenomena we used to come across there, where we used to sit there, we used to very often sit quietly, and within about 5-10 minutes, the field, not the field immediately in front of us, but the one on the other side of the canal, used to light up. Whatever lit that field up, we will never know. It was pitch black, middle of, even through the winter months. And this field used to light up. As soon as somebody said, "It's lit up," or a smoke went. So you all had to wait till it went off on its own. And then, did you see? Yeah, I saw it, I saw it, I saw it. And to this day, I have no explanation to that. I never really got into music in records till later on, till I was probably around about maybe 16, 17. I used to start to buy my first records. Cliff Richard's Summer Holiday was the first LP I ever bought. People who know me now do know that I do play the guitar, and we do as best I can. We play charity work, charity gigs, and we play American country and western, which is basically Johnny Cash, etc. Which is something that I've always enjoyed doing, and hopefully, as long as my health keeps something like, I'm going to be able to do. And for doing it for charity, everybody's a winner. Later on, when I joined the 18 Plus group, which used to be all the meetings at the railway pub, just across the road from the railway station, at the building next door, which was the Curzon Pitch House, they used to have wrestling on there on Friday nights and Saturday nights. But I remember there was Jackie Powell. Was it Jackie Pallo? I think it was Jackie Pallo, I think his name was. He had long hair, and oh, he was a nasty, nasty man. And in those days, people used to get really hurt. I mean, I've seen wrestling matches on the television, and there seemed to be a lot of it just seems to be staged. But in those days, believe you me, people did get hurt. I've seen people with broken arms, broken legs, ripped mouths open, teeth missing, you name it. I mean, there were some horrendous injuries because they used to fight. They was fight until ever there was a winner, like, you know. The 18 Plus group I held dear at the time. One of the lads there was Rod Heathcote. He was in there, and lots of others which unfortunately I've lost the names of. People may recognise themselves on there. I think Margaret Webb was one of them. Mum and Dad used to own a shop in Wargrave Road, if I'm not mistaken. And it was her friend as well, and they used to own the shop, hardware shop, which was opposite Kidderton's funeral parlour there. And the 18 Plus group used to meet at one of the rooms upstairs there. And I think, from what I can remember, that kept going for quite a number of years. It was quite a successful group. I think, in actual fact, I think some of them ended up marrying each other from that group, which was quite interesting. But all in all, through my life, as I say, when I was 19 years of age, which is 20 years of age, I then decided that I'd served my time plumbing and heating to McClymont's Plumbers in Market Street, and I decided that I wanted to have a stab out on my own, and I started up my own business at that point and ran it for 30 years, very successfully, thank goodness. Made some very, very nice friends in terms of customers. I used to enjoy the work I did. I did actually one spell I joined the Rotary Club of think it was called Newton District at the time, which now I think they've got a new name again now. And again, it was all down to trying to get some money for people who are a bit less off, worse off yourself. And through my life, I've tried to fill my life up as much as I can and enjoy what I did.